Okay, so now today we are going to read from Joshua. We're going to read Joshua 1 through 15. So last time we read about how the Israelites overtook Jericho. So now we're going to read about how they defeat Canaan's southern armies. Okay, Canaan's southern armies. We're going to jump ahead to Joshua 10. And then after we do that, our next one is we're going to find out, because they actually are now taking over the promised land. They're actually there. They've already defeated the promised land, so now it's time for them to actually take control of it, okay? So, Adonizedek, king of Jerusalem, heard that Joshua had captured and completely destroyed. And so when you see the word Hebrew term used here refers to the complete consecration of things or people to the Lord, either by destroying them or giving them as an offering. Okay? And killed its king just as he had destroyed the town of Jericho and killed its king. He also learned that the Gideonites had made peace with Israel and were now their allies. He and his people became very afraid when they heard all this, because Gibeon was a large town, as large as the royal cities and larger than Ai, and the Gibeonite men were strong warriors. So, King Adonizedek of Jerusalem sent messengers to several other kings: Hoham of Hebron, Piram of Jarmuth, Japhia of Lachish, and Debir of Eglon. I don't even know if I'm pronouncing any of those right. I'm sorry if I am not. Come and help me destroy Gideon, he urged them, for they have made peace with Joshua and the people of Israel. So these 5 Amorite kings combined their armies for a united attack. They moved all their troops into place and attacked Gideon. The people of Gideon quickly sent messengers to Joshua's camp in Gilgal. Don't abandon your servants now, they pleaded. Come at once, save us, help us, and for all the Amorites who live in the hill country have joined forces to attack us. So Joshua and his entire army, including his best warriors, left Gilgal and set out for Gideon. Do not be afraid of him, the Lord said to Joshua. For I have given you great victory over them. Not a single one of them will be able to stand up to you. Joshua traveled all night from Gilgal and took the Amorite armies by surprise. The Lord threw them into a panic, and the Israelites slaughtered great numbers of them at Gibeon. It's been Gideon, and I've been saying Gideon, but it's Gibeon. Then the Israelites chased the enemy along the road to Beth Horon, killing them all the way to Ezekah and Makkedah. As the Amorites retreated down the road from Beth Horon, the Lord destroyed them with a great hailstone from heaven, but continued until they reached Ezekah. The hail killed more of the enemy than the Israelites killed with a sword. On the day the Lord gave the Israelites victory over the Amorites, Joshua prayed to the Lord in front of all the people of Israel. He said, "Let the sun stand still over Gibeon, and the moon over the valley of Ajalon." So the sun stood still, and the moon stayed in place until the nation of Israel had defeated its enemies. Is this event not recorded in a book of Jaspar, which is the book of the upright? The sun stayed in the middle of the sky, and it did not set on a normal day. There has never been a day like this, one before and since, when the Lord answered such a prayer. Surely the Lord fought for Israel that day. Then Joshua and the Israelites returned to their camp at Gilgal. So all these news, like social media, about Joshua's victories over the cities of Jericho made the kings in Canaan tremble, okay? And I kept saying Gideon, but it's Gibeon, okay? So the men from the city of Gibeon lied to Joshua and tricked the Israelites into making peace with them. This violates God's instructions, but Joshua honors the agreement. And then they have drawn themselves into a new conflict. All the Amorites are like, I'm going to come after you. You went with the enemy. I don't care if you're frenemies. We're going to beat you. But Israelites are like, you know what? We're going to come to your defense. We're going to help you. Okay, so this thing about hailstones. We had a few years ago, we had tornadoes. So it'll be 3 years come Memorial Day. And there was these hailstones that hit in our house. It was so loud. Fortunately, the Lord protected us, and we had no damage from them. But they were big. But there was like baseball size around. Okay, so any size, small, big, it can be painful, damaging to people and to material items and everything. But the ones that the God pelted down, they were lethal. They killed. They were not nice ones. They killed, okay? So what happens is sometimes those hailstones, they'll freeze into even bigger chunks of ice before they reach the ground, and that's what happened. So imagine a hailstone that's a foot in circumference, a foot. So that's about what it was, okay? And it weighed more than a pound. So deadly, deadly, deadly. Okay, so warfare was going on again in more than one way. Joshua was battling the Amorites, but God was battling two of the most powerful gods of the Canaanites. Because remember, the Canaanites were pagans, okay? So he was fighting the moon and the sun. Meanwhile, on earth, they were fighting the people of Israel fighting the Amorites. And there's actually been, I've read something, and I don't know where I read it, that they actually found proof that this event did happen. Because the sun stayed up and the moon never came down until the people were defeated. So, and it only was done by God. And there's actually proof that, or it was either I read it or someone told me. I think someone probably told me that they actually found some archaeological proof that this actually did happen. So that's pretty compelling information. Okay, with that, be blessed. Hopefully this gives you some more insight now that we are almost there. We're almost exactly in the promised land. We're getting there. We're getting there. And once they get to the promised land, it's not going to be peaches and cream. Just like they think it's going to be peaches and cream, it's not going to be. They're going to still have some difficulties. Okay, with that, be blessed. See you next time.